Greetings and welcome to this week's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. Before we begin, I'd like to make a few announcements. First, we are proud to announce that Sabbat the Schism is officially out now. Not only does it delve into the history and lore of the sect, it opens up multiple role-playing options for fans of the game, including new playable clans, elder level powers, and much more. You can find your own copy of Sabbat the Schism in the link below. Second, I'd like to thank RS Experiments, our local musical talent, for graciously providing the custom music you've been enjoying so far, including our awesome main theme song called Haven Dweller. If you enjoy any of the music used during the stream and you'd like to hear more, you can find a full library of Mark's work by clicking the link below to RS Experiments' SoundCloud page. Lastly, if you enjoyed tonight's session and you'd like to see more, be sure to follow both our channels. You can catch us live most Sundays at 7 p.m. CET by tuning in to youtube.com/@EriseGames or at twitch.tv/EriseGames. Alternatively, you can enjoy all our recorded sessions on YouTube. Links below. Remember to like, subscribe, and be sure to leave us feedback and suggestions in the comments below. We hope you enjoy the session. And without further ado, let us delve into the world of darkness in tonight's episode of Vampire the Masquerade Beyond Armageddon. As night overtakes the city of LA and clubs begin taking in partygoers, residential areas begin to settle down and go quiet, and the ever-present humming of electricity becomes the only noise heard in the city. We join Jasper as he makes his way to the rooftop of a residential building. A quite isolated one when it comes to it, and close somewhat to a power line that runs through the entire city. As Jasper gets on his feet at the rooftop, he glances to the ground floor to make sure he was not seen before turning to the edge of the building, precariously close to the power line. A voice Not entirely in his head, but in his surroundings. Spoken in a way only he can hear. Says, freeing it, that would be noble. Be sure you don't enslave it.
Yes, freeing it would be noble. The only problem is, from what I have gathered information on, spirits of that type tend to have a fleeting life, unless if kept nearby a source of energy.
Fleeting by mortal standards, yes. Only our existence isn't as you say, black and white. We don't simply cease to exist. We return. And then, if nature calls to us, we depart once more.
So there is a layer just for uh, nature spirits, or natural spirits, one would say. But it isn't the Shadowlands.
Secrets beyond the mind of one such as yourself.
I would like to hear more later. I would hope to be able to go there perhaps someday. But in the meantime, we have something else to do. And Jasper would cut his wrist and start to trying to summon the spirit.
As you approach the power line, with your wrist open, you urge some of your vitae to pull at the wound without actually dripping it. As you pry the wound open, there is a faint pull on the vitae, but you sense it's dampened, if not blocked. As you study the situation, try to figure out what's going on, the voice speaks again. The wire. It is in the wire, but it is contained.
I see. So we cannot get out of the wire unless there's a rupture on it. Or just enough so the wires are exposed, perhaps.
Worth a try, if done carefully.
Jasper will go near the edge where the wires are.
Mm-hmm.
And with his tentacle, one of his bladed tentacles, tail tentacle, he will move it closer to the wire, just enough so he can almost touch it with it.
Mm-hmm. The
He would
yes.
he would then take a step back, remembering that perhaps it would be best to not be touching the ground if he's going to touch such a live wire. So instead, he will try to move himself so that there's something. He will try to look for something that he can probably use to throw it to cut the wire, just enough so it exposes the wire but does not go through.
Mm.
Something perhaps metal that can stick out by going in just enough. Maybe a rusty old pipe or something nearby.
You may roll a perception and let's say perception alertness. Simple one.
Perception
Actually,
awareness?
perception melee.
Perception melee.
Yes. You are looking for something sharp that can cut.
Does Auspex apply?
Auspex applies to all perception rolls. It lowers the difficulty by the Auspex amount.
Mm-hmm.
If you activate it for your vision, that is. And if you do, please announce it. Yeah.
Yeah. I will activate for my vision.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's 2 successes.
It is indeed. Actually, it with the roll and the activation, that is 4 successes. Your eyes dart around, looking for something that might do the trick. You spot a few things. As you alluded to, there's piping within the building you are standing on, and there's sort of a rain-catching structure that buildings at least in the West, do have on the side, that essentially funnels rainwater out of the roof and onto the ground floor. While those are sometimes made of plastic, it seems this building is an older building, and so this structure is made of metal. You could break it and sharpen it. Another option is you do have bones in your body. While it's not ideal, you could sharpen one and essentially cut the wire from range. It'd be tricky, but it's something you could do.
Will it cause a lot of noise if I break the pipe?
Depends how you break it.
Structure. The problem is I have nothing, so most likely would have to rip it out, but would cause a lot of tension. I'm gonna try to use my bones, like take a piece of bone out of my body, pull it out, and sharpen it.
All right.
So that I can use it to cut the plastic around the wire.
All right. You think for a moment about which bone you should use for this. And as you essentially kneel, preparing yourself for the burning sensation that comes with the use of vicissitude, you reach to your chest and you pry open your skin. You dig in with your fingers, and with a few pulls and sort of a twisting wooden noise, you yank out one of your ribs. With a bit of pressing and molding, you eventually fashion a quite sharp blade out of it.
Yeah, I will wrap my tentacles around one of my tails around it, and use it to move closer enough to the wire so he can cut it just enough to expose the wires inside.
All right.
And he will strike it as quickly as he can, trying not to hold on to the piece if he starts to get shocked.
So you place the bone against the rubber, And I need you to roll me... you're going to roll 2 separate rolls. The difficulty is going to be a bit lower because it's 2 separate rolls that you need to succeed at. But first roll is wits and technology. Mm-hmm. Okay. So you are aware that doing this at all without protective equipment is already dangerous enough. But you also happen to do your homework. You know how far deep the wires are and how easy it is for electricity to just spread through, even with a measly brush of something that, you know, is conductive. And so, while you press the tip of the bone into the rubber of the wire cover, you angle it so it simply slices open a seam that you can pry open. And now I need you to make a dex, and let's say, since you know what you're already, like the process of the thing, let's say dex and athletics. Actually, dex and larceny.
I'm gonna use a willpower on this, just saying.
Okay. Be sure to mark it off. Alright. That's
Okay.
1, 2...
That's 3 successes.
So with a calm, slow, and calculated move, you push the bone in until it creates this slice. Then you pull the rib out. You place it in your hand, and then use one of your tails to essentially push open the rubber. Just enough that the barrier is not completely broken, but less easily, less restraining.
Mm-hmm.
As you do, given the attunement to spirits that your Cold Unic aptitude gives you, you sense not necessarily that you're closer, but that you can access the spirit more easily.
Okay. I'll pull back from the wires. I'm gonna try to once again summon it.
Mm-hmm. You pry open the wound that you made before. You will some of the vitae to pull on it, and it begins to slowly move towards the wire. And in a very brisk motion, you sense the vitae almost turn into that red smoke that you have seen before, only it moves incredibly fast and it just fades into the wire. You sense there's something not static, but every time it is in the wire, it's got its attention on you.
And I guess I would speak to see if it at least can respond back to me. O spirit of lightning, of electricity, can you hear me? Are you able to speak?
The creature seems to maintain its attention on you, though you sense its attention sort of diverting to things around you. And eventually, the voice from before, the other spirit that you've been acclimating to, speaks up. It is fleeting, juvenile. I can maintain its attention if you wish, but it might draw some attention.
How much attention are we speaking of?
How long would you need to convince it?
Unsure, but probably I'll try as fast as I can be. I don't want you to stay here for too long, especially once we free it.
I can attempt to be quick about it, but as soon as I begin, do hurry up.
Very well.
And as you sense the attention of the being within the wires so slowly diverting from you, you sense something else reaching towards the wire. And the spirit's attention immediately locks onto you and stays on you. You also notice that the rubber itself begins to sort of get this almost wet look to it.
Oh, electric spirit, please tell me, do you wish for freedom? Do you wish to not be confined in this prison that man has put in?
You begin to see small sparks in the breach you've made in the wire. You sense it's trying to reach out to you.
But I cannot hear anything from it, right?
Not yet, no.
And Jesper will let out a little bit more blood as he keeps saying, I can give you the freedom that you desire. I can liberate you from the role that they have confined you into. All that I ask is that we have a partnership in return.
The sparks begin to intensify a little, and you begin to see the rubber right around that breach begin to melt slowly. It starts dripping and sort of drooping down, revealing an exposed coil within. And as you see this, one of the sparks creates this jolt that essentially it stings you as it makes contact. And as soon as it does, while you don't hear it for a prolonged period of time, it takes merely a fraction of a second, you understand what it's trying to tell you. You hear in a very crackling voice the words, "Freedom, what cost?"
As I said to you, all I wish is a partnership between us. You help me, and I will help you back, always. And you're free to do whatever else you desire, while I'm not asking for your help. I just appreciate that we did not cause trouble to each other once we, well, finalize this deal between ourselves.
The sparks continue, attempting to reach out for you, and another quick, bright flash hits you, and I need you to roll stamina, please. Okay.
True.
So you take 1 lethal damage as the crack of not quite lightning, but the spark creates this sort of cracking noise. Singes a little bit of your face and kind of makes it hard for you to blink. And the words speak out. Alliance, interesting. Where you need.
Wait, where? What did he say? The last part? Where do we need?
Where you need.
As you may see, I am a sorcerer of sorts that, with the help and binding in a relationship of sorts with another spirit, I can use their power. That's what I wish to do with you. Bind ourselves, our existence a little bit together, so I can harness your power and I can give you the freedom that you want.
So I need you to roll
You
me. Oh, please.
And of course, if at any point you wish to leave this alliance, you are always free to do so.
All right.
I hope that does not come to happen. I will also heal 1 lethal damage while speaking that.
Yep, that's fine. And please roll. Well, are you being honest about him having the freedom to leave?
Yeah.
Yeah. Then
Yeah.
please roll me charisma. Let's see what would apply here. Charisma and say expression.
Expression?
Mm-hmm. All right. As the rubber melts and the exposed wire begins to glow, um, begins to turn red with a faint glow around it. You notice sparks coming off of the attached ends of the wire as the towers begin to essentially break with the strain of what's happening. The spirit reaches out to you and says, reasonable. What freedom you give?
The freedom to see the world and to experience things that you have yet to experience. Like our friend here, my friend.
Mm-hmm.
And Jasper will point the direction to the radiation.
All right.
Spirit.
As you say this, another spark hits you. You may roll stamina.
Agree. That's
You
one.
take 3 lethal. As the
Mhm.
spirit says, reach out.
And I will reach out while healing myself as well.
Mm-hmm. And as you do, there is a bright flash as the wire almost flings itself towards your hand and forces it shut around the red hot metal. And you feel this surge going through your body. and you will begin taking ag. So take one ag, and you may roll stamina and athletics to try and let go of the wire.
Stamina and athletics.
Damn. Yeah, so it's not easy. Uh, Definitely the electricity is forcing your hand shut quite aggressively. But you manage to, in sort of a sheer moment of panic, release your hand away from it. And as you do, you begin to see street lights turning off around this area, and essentially the entire neighborhood has a blackout. And as it does, you see the molten wire split and just fall according to gravity. And with that, you hear a faint whisper from the radiation spirit. We should go.
Before we go, does Jasper sense like radiation coming from the wires?
There is quite a bit, yeah.
Jasper, taking advantage of the darkness, he is going to go down as quickly as he can. If he can just jump down, he will. He will quickly absorb any radiation that has been left behind due to this little incident, and he will immediately begin to get away from this area once he does so.
All right. Make the activation roll for the power.
Mm-hmm.
That is... Let me just double check. Says level 3. So difficulty becomes... One moment. So difficulty is 6, which means you get 1, 2, 3, 2 successes. Okay. So you climb down as fast as you can. And as soon as your feet are on the ground, you reach out towards both ends of the wire. And with focus, you begin to call upon the radiation spirit. You feel it reach out, and the wire's faint glow begins to reduce and become more stagnant, and then fades completely. And you sense no more radiation emitting from the wires.
Okay, then. Jasper is now booking it.
Mm-hmm. You begin to run, trying to keep to the shadows, maybe taking the sewers. How are you making your way back?
I mean, if there are no lights,
In this
I will
neighborhood.
try to, yeah, in this neighborhood. I'll try to go as far as I can through the surface, then make my way through the sewers once I'm getting closer to Light Street areas.
All right. You try to keep to alleyways, run essentially out of the main streets, and eventually, as you begin to reach the area where power still can flow, you find a sewer lid, pry it open, climb inside, and cover your exit. As you move through the sewers, You look to your hands, and as you examine the palm of your hand that was holding the wire, you see
Mm-hmm.
it's singed pitch black from the heat of the wire when you grabbed onto it. And yet, between the flakes of ash that form on the surface of your skin, you see faint, bright sparks flowing from one flake to another. And I need you to roll me perception and alertness.
Specs counts to it, right?
Mm-hmm.
Damn.
Okay,
I think that's successes.
that is. Um, as you make your way through the sewers, watching the effects of this interaction on your body, you hear a very faint sound. Incredibly, incredibly faint. It's no more than just a slight ruffle of fabric coming from further down the corridor. You sense, well, you hear that there's some activity there.
Well, Jasper is going to go calmly with the direction, trying to hear what is there. If it's something that could be of danger, he will probably find another pathway to go through.
Mm-hmm.
Not, he can just go through it, not meddle in whoever's business is happening down there.
All right. You make your way as silently as you possibly can. Um, Almost instinctively, your tails essentially hover over the ground and keep low, making sure not to touch anything. And as you approach the area, still not able to see who is making the sound, the figure speaks up. You are a very, very difficult man to track. You know that?
At this moment, Jasper will stop completely in his tracks. He will move his three tails around him in the almost protective circle of sorts.
Mm-hmm.
And he will say, "Who is this?" Already knowing who it is.
I don't think that's something you need to worry about right now. Who this is not as important to your survival as what does this man want to know? May I approach?
Just enough so that I can see you.
There are footsteps that echo through the tunnel as the man makes his way closer, walking on the edges of this, essentially the staff passages of the tunnel. The man walks closer to you until you can sort of catch a few of his features thanks to the faint glow of the service lights. The man is dressed in a black suit with quite well kept hair. And he has a pair of sunglasses hanging from his shirt. He looks quite mundane, quite pale though. You can tell it's definitely Cainite. So, I've been told you made your way to LA in a very... You took a very interesting mode of transportation.
Jasper, not moving a muscle, he just says, what?
Let's just cut down to the chase. I do have other matters to attend to, and you are definitely not who I'm after, so don't you worry. So long as you're honest, we can help each other even. If you tell me what I want to know, I'll give you one favor from me to you. I know you're in contact with someone. Someone pretty, let's say, high up within your bloodline. Where exactly did you meet them?
Question, do I hear any voices in my mind? Do I feel any pressures in my mind saying anything?
There is nothing, though you do sense some hesitation. You're not sure if it's your own or not.
Mhm. I'm going to say, I don't know. Who are you speaking of exactly? Do they have a name?
And here I thought you were a bit smarter than that. Give you a second chance. You lie to me again, bad things start happening. I know you were in contact with someone. You know who. I want you to tell me where you met them, because you sure as shit ain't powerful enough to just appear in LA out of nowhere. So, where did you meet him?
Jasper ponders for a second before he says, are you speaking about my mentor? Well, I met them in Europe. I don't think you're going to find them easily here in the US.
The man seems to look into your eyes almost as if he's looking through you. And he asks, are you in there?
Jasper, unsure what to respond to this. Well, well, I'm right here. Or speaking to.
The man takes a few steps towards you, studying your eyes, and says, all right, it seems you lived longer than people expected you to. Let me just say, I'm glad to see you are still around. I'd like you to know I'm going to find you. Once I do, I'm going to make you feel every bit of pain you caused them. Once I feel that the result was satisfactory, I'm going to start killing every one of your descendants. And then we can see what happens. Now, you, vessel, Jasper, was it? You run along.
Jasper.
You go back to your friends. You go play your petty politics, chase your petty mission. Just know, wherever you go, I'll know exactly where you are. So feel free to pay your mentor a visit sometime.
Jasper is without words. He's just staring into this man, fully feeling like whoever he is, he could probably just kill him with the pinky of his finger.
Well, what are you waiting for? Shoot. Go on.
And Jasper will slowly start backing away, not turning around for even a moment, feeling very well confined in
Mhm.
this small space that is the sewer.
As you essentially make your way slowly, keeping your eyes on this, whoever this is, the man simply smiles, gives you a sort of goodbye, and as he does, he completely disappears from any sense you might pull to. No matter how hard you try to seek him, no matter where you look, this dimension or beyond, he just vanished.
Yeah, no, Jasper is now looking like as fast as he can towards
Mm-hmm.
any direction but there.
And as Jasper begins to make his way back to the haven, we will take a short break. We'll be back very soon. welcome back. We now join Serena and Jack as they essentially seem to be waiting within the old abandoned haven they first used, the nearby
No, we're
hollow.
not at the haven. We're in the forest bit.
You're in
Near.
the forest around it.
Yeah.
Okay. And yeah, then we join Jack and Serena as they essentially make time in the forest surrounding the previous haven.
Serena, by the way, is dressed in an outfit that could accuse somebody as that could make someone accuse her that she's cosplaying as Jeanette Warman.
Look, I kinda trust you on this one, but why specifically tonight?
Because Jeanette is traveled tonight to Hollywood. So we have a suitable time. She doesn't do that often. Either way, I'll explain the details. Just be prepared to become a shadow
Okay.
when the plan is set in motion. You're not supposed to be here when we fulfill Vivi's
Okay.
condition.
That's okay.
Next week, we're going to start our Santa Monica assault.
That's nice to hear.
Well, of course, all of this is going to be moot if Vivi cannot summon.
We have different options, and
Well, not really, because everything else could be traced, etc. But
well, let's
let's...
hope that
if not,
Big M
we'll...
deals cards your way.
You know, there's a quote in the Good Omens that God doesn't place dice with the universe.
Any reason why?
No, because it further goes on that actually God or Goddess plays poker or something like that.
Hmm. I suppose it's a bit less about the chance.
God doesn't play dice with the universe. She plays an ineffable game of her own devising, which might be compared from the perspective of any other players, everybody, to being involved in an obscure and complex variant of poker in a pitch-black room with blank cards for infinite stakes, with a dealer who won't tell you the rules and who smiles all the time. That is
Sounds
a
like
full
Malcolm.
quote. I mean, Good Omens is quite an interesting book, isn't it?
I suppose.
As you say this and you sort of wrap this conversation up, both of you catch the sound of rustling grass and bushes as a figure approaches, dressed in quite bulky clothes, like jackets and the hood on.
I'll look that way, trying to discover, like, to see who's that.
As the yep,
I look with I use Auspex to see who's approaching.
All right. Well, I won't
Perception
have you
alertness?
roll. I won't have
Okay.
you roll because person approaches, and as the hoodie is pulled back, you see Vivi, Miss Velour. She looks to both of you and says, "So you got the recording?"
No, I figured something that would be less incriminating for us, but also quite pleasant for you. Tell me, Miss Velour, are you capable of using summoning?
Why would you want to know?
Well, right now is a good time for Javi to be very. And as Serena's speaking, she basically changes her appearance to look like Jeanette. To be offed by the Baron of Santa Monica, Jeanette. Because the timing is right. If you're able to summon him, you can watch him die in... for real.
All right. I suppose I can just film it with my phone then.
It's best not to film it. If you want, I have a certain power that can make you relive this moment as many times as you like.
No,
With full...
no, no. I need a recording of this.
Problem with the recording is that the recording is going to have a timestamp. Tell me, do you want to have a recording, or do you want it to be forever engraved in your memory how he perished in front of you?
I want the recording. It's not about the memory.
Oh, I think I've... Well,
A camera that doesn't send it to the cloud straight.
Serena looks to Vivi, then draws a card. Now, I'm gonna draw a card to see whether Vivi's recording is gonna bite me back in the ass or not.
All right. I need to fetch the...
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 5 successes to divine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3 successes to interpret. I mean, I have enough successes for one single card to have like, like
quite a bit of
you don't
meaning,
even.
yeah.
Yeah, just you don't even need to tell me the card.
Okay, fine. Well, as you pull the card, you look to it. You examine the image, the name, the hidden meanings. Everything tells you that it's impossible for this to come without risk.
Mm-hmm.
But it is also very possible that it's simply a worthy price to pay. Whether it comes with the consequences or not, it's unclear. Whatever the consequences are, what you're paying is worth what you're getting. That's essentially what the card tells you.
Very well. Jack, I will need you to become Shadow and move entirely away from this clearing towards the tree so that you're not going to appear on the recording as some weird interference.
No problem.
Okay. Very well. The price is worth taking, Vivi. That is what the future says. And Serena, so I'm actually activating right now, what's it called? Twisted Laceration for the rest of the scene.
Okay. Sounds good.
The most, since, I will be fighting bare hands, so no
I know
vicissitudes here.
how the power works. I wrote it. So
Right then. Please summon him.
Jack will just go to the closest tree and teleport away
mhm.
and dissolve into shadows.
Valor takes a step forward and says, "Just remember, don't make it quick. Oh, and if you can, make it humiliating for him." And she closes her eyes with a tilt of her head to one side, then the other. She then opens her eyes and says, "He should be on his way."
Meanwhile, Serena is going to get into Jeanette roleplay. So can I roll like performance, like acting?
Sure.
Is this going to be manipulation?
It is manipulation and
Okay.
performance, yeah.
Yeah, does persuasive apply? To be persuasively Jeanette.
Usually persuasive applies when you're making arguments towards something. I'd say your other specialty applies, definitely. This one doesn't.
Mm-hmm. Pelesse. 1, 2, 3,
Pretty
4,
good.
5 successes.
All right. So
And also, as if Phoebe looks away, like Iris is basically going to go behind Vivi and say, "I'll be right here. Let's pretend this is an anarch ambush. Play along." And I'm gonna go into obfuscate.
mm-hmm. Valor simply says, "That's easy enough to do." She takes her phone from her bag and begins to mess with it. And a few minutes pass. 5, 10, 15. Eventually, half an hour passes. And at some point, a figure manifests almost from nothing, brushing aside the vegetation to have a look at Vivi. Velvet basically, as soon as she lays eyes on him, I need both of you to roll perception and empathy.
Mm-hmm. Zero successes.
Give me a sec. That's like 5.
Mm-hmm. All right. With our homebrew rules, I believe you're... Oh, actually, no. That is not a botch. That is just a fail, even with our rules. Okay, so... Serena, you don't notice this. Jack, from where you are, you actually notice this detail. As soon as Valor's eyes, spot Javi, her demeanor shifts slightly. It's almost like all of the sudden she's more afraid than before. Before she was enraged, now she's enraged and on the verge of a panic.
Hmm?
You've seen
Um,
this enough with some of your fellow soldiers after the war. This is the closest thing you could see to the beginnings of shell shock, as you'd call it.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Is Javi paying full attention to Vivi?
Well, as Javi appears, he looks to Vivi and says, "You called me here, didn't you? Little rabbit, little rabbit. You want
Serena's like
around too?"
Serena's going to start like basically like walking around the edge to basically flank him.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want me to roll stealth?
No need. You begin to make your way as quietly as you can. And Serena, you can roll again. Jack, you notice this enough that you'd know to see this if it happened.
3 successes.
3 successes. Okay, both of you notice that while she has her phone in her hand and she has, she's prepared to take the video, her hand is fucking shaking. And she starts almost leaning a little bit back as if she wants to step back, but her legs aren't really obeying. Javi takes a couple of steps forward, almost as if he's circling Velvet. I knew you'd miss me eventually. And he prowls around almost like an animal viewing prey.
Right. And this is where Serena's going to basically pounce.
All right.
And she's going to basically sneak up on him and kick him.
Right where it counts.
So first I need to roll stealth and thing.
You won't need to. Whatever attack you're doing, add as a stealth bonus just 4, as if you rolled 5 successes on the sneak.
Okay.
Little question. May I
Dexterity.
have offered
Hold on.
Vivi a... Yeah.
Dexterity brawl.
Yeah, dexterity brawl for the attack. You have to describe to me exactly what you're doing.
So basically, I'm coming to the flank so that I can knee him in the gut.
Okay, so from his side, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And Jack, you were saying?
So.
May I have offered Vivi some, abyssal encouragement before?
No.
Not right now.
14.
If I do it right now, she's gonna lose it.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Wait, actually, first things first. Does Twisted Laceration need me to to touch their bare skin?
Yes.
Okay, so then I'm gonna just punch him.
All right. Sock him in the face. That's
no,
fine.
I'm gonna knee him. Vivi said
Knee
she
him
wants
in
to
the
make it last.
face. Okay.
No, knee him. Okay.
So same attack as before. Knee him in the gut.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
This is why I
Right.
needed a specific description.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Before
6,
you
7,
before
8,
you
9,
tell
10.
me, just one moment, please, Jack. Well, you can't really offer her any encouragement. It's very clear to you the state she's in.
Mm-hmm.
She's not gonna record shit.
Yeah, I'm just gonna envelop her heart in shadows. Make it make it braver for her for a second.
Sure.
So I have 8 to hit. Do I roll for damage strength?
Well, with 8 to hit, you can just choose how much you hurt him here.
Yeah, but
I-
I'm kneeing him.
I know. I'm just allowing you to choose how much you're hurting this guy.
All right, I forgot.
Jack, make
Let's
whatever.
say.
Hold on. Just one moment. Jack, make whatever roll you need for that ability.
I just spent blood.
Yeah, you just spend blood, and she needs to roll, right?
No.
No?
She's
It
gonna
just
have
happens?
her stamina lowered if
Okay, yeah, that's fine.
the way Shadow Play just works. I spend blood and like she may get one less stamina.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Cecil said that Javi is an excellent soldier, so Serena would assume that he'd have like some fortitude or whatever, like soaking skills, whatever. So, and this is going to be bashing.
Mm-hmm.
So it's going to be, let's say 6.
All right, 6. I'm going to roll for his fortitude. Okay. So that is a total of 2 damage because it soaks 3, then halves and rounds up. So he takes a total of 2 damage. So you appear out of thin air for anyone around you as you put a good amount of force into this attack, and you knee him in the gut. You feel something give in on his ribcage as he doubles over, and almost instinctively, you see him, instead of reacting like you'd expect most people to react, he lands on all 4, already with his claws out, and he turns to you, baring his teeth. Jack, as you enshroud Vivi's heart and sort of harden her will, for a moment she still seems petrified, but you spot the slight motion of her thumb as she presses record.
Do we roll for initiative?
Yes.
Dexterity plus wits, right? And plus the celerity.
So you roll 1d10, and you add your wits, your dex, and your celerity.
1, 3, 4, 10, 15.
Everyone rolls once today. Jack.
I'm not participating in it. Like,
I'll need you to roll anyway, just if you decide to pitch in.
okay.
I need to know when you can pitch in.
Let's dexterity.
By the way, Jack, Serena told you not to pitch in.
Yeah, I know.
Okay. So, as he lands from this attack, that is your turn, Serena.
That was a surprise attack, so now the initiative starts.
Okay. Right, then it's your turn. Oh, and I need to roll for Vivi as well, just in case.
As Serena looking like Jeanette just like stretches her arms and says, "You yap too much. Bad dogs. It's time for you to be put down. You're disgusting." And I'm gonna punch him in the face.
All right, roll for it.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Wait, actually, that was a wrong roll. Sorry. 6, 9, 14. Pelese. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 8 successes.
8 successes. Okay. So now he soaks.
Wait, that's to hit.
Oh, right. Then, yeah,
So
that
that's gonna be
hits
strength?
plus, yeah, it's your strength plus 7. And if you have it, potence.
Mm-hmm. Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 7 successes.
7 successes. Now he
Ones don't
soaks.
count on damage.
8 successes then. Wait. 1, 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Okay. Then he's going to soak, and he's going to spend a point of blood to auto soak some of that damage. How much damage was it? 9?
9.
Okay. Uh, so that's 5 soaked plus 3. So that's 1 bashing that you do.
Yeah, but this one cannot be healed.
Yeah, I'm keeping that in mind. Don't you worry. So you punch him in the face, and as you do, it's very clear that you like you bruised his face, but it's like punching a brick wall almost. He feels hardier than you expected for a shovelhead. As this happens, Javi takes 1 leap back and then leaps forward to slice at you.
Okay.
So it's Dex. Sprawl plus, yep. Okay, so that's 6 to hit. And now it's his strength plus feral claws is plus 1, right? Yeah, plus 1. So that's strength plus 1. And plus potence, which okay. So that, and then for the amount of successes he got, already forgot the amount of successes. God damn it.
6.
Yeah. So that's that plus 5. So damage is shit. It's not the damage. That's a roll. Sorry. So it's 1, 2, 3. So soak 3 ag. So only fortitude.
I'm gonna use a blood point for.
You can't auto soak ag with fortitude.
Okay. Okay,
You
got
have
it.
to roll fortitude.
1 success.
Okay, so you take 2 ag as he leaps forward, and with a slash of his claws, you essentially feel this sensation you don't feel very often. Your skin getting opened and sliced without, well, let's put it in the way it truly is, without your consent, which usually you have. And as he lands with sort of a primal growl, I need both of you to roll perception and awareness.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
You sense another echo coming from very, very far away.
Okay. So, I'm also. Oh wait, just a second. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab one of his hands and destroy it, like crush it.
All right. So that's a Dex and Brawl. Difficulty is going to be, I'd say, at a +2, since you're not just grabbing a hand. You're grabbing a hand covered in claws that deal lag.
I'm gonna use a willpower point and okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 4, 5 successes to hit, and then for 4, 9, 9 and 9 and 11.
Sorry.
Belese. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 damage.
So I'm going to roll just to see if he succeeds at the brawl, to see who has the advantage. The attack is going to land anyway. But... Alright. So, basically what happens is, as he emits this echo and has one of his hands perched on the ground, one ready to strike, in a motion, he begins to move it forward, and you manage to grab it and begin squeezing at it. And while you start hearing some bones breaking, and you see him essentially howl in pain, his other hand moves and grabs yours. So you are in a grapple, and you did land, but he got more successes than you in the resist to the grapple, so he's controlling whatever happens next. Okay?
Okay.
All right.
So what's next?
Vivi seems to continue to film the situation, and Jack, you have been watching Vivi more closely, or the fight?
Just like observing everything.
All right. Just roll me a 1d10 then. Okay. As your as your attention, drifts from the fight into Vivi and examining the whole situation, you begin to see Vivi kind of shrink into herself as she holds the camera, and you begin to see tears pooling, like bloody tears pooling on her eyes. And as this happens, Javi, as he grabs your hand, Serena, reaches forward and attempts to bite at you.
Am I currently facing away from Vivi?
Roll a 1d10.
Seven.
Okay. Your back is turned to Vivi, yeah.
Excellent.
Right. So, it's his turn still. So he's going to attempt to bite you, which is Dex plus Brawl to hit. His pool of Dex plus Brawl. Hold on. Taking all of this out of memory. Sorry. Okay. There we go. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 to hit. And now he's going to roll for damage. Strength plus 2 plus. Okay. So that is not much. Oof. Okay. Given how much potential damage this will deal, Jack, you haven't taken your action, so I'm allowing you to interfere if need be.
Okay.
If need be. Yeah, that's 9 damage.
But that's what type of
That's
damage?
ag.
Yeah, because it's a
Yep.
bite. Tony,
Mm.
like, she can soak with fortitude. I'm giving you one chance because you haven't used your turn. You can do something to interfere.
Oh. If I fucking knew what.
Blank out his eyes.
That would be a valid idea, to be honest. Yeah. Yeah, probably do that.
You can even summon tentacles in his mouth so that it's not visible.
You do realize they're 2 fucking meters long.
Make it go inside.
It's just become a very weird Japanese cartoon, didn't it?
Yes. Yeah, probably I'd do that.
What, the tentacles?
Yes. Have you seen the fucking damage?
Jesus, okay.
Let him bite on a fucking tentacle. Arms of the Abyss. Manipulation occult.
Alright. Is it going out of his mouth, or...
We don't want to do.
It's not going to stop the bite if that's the case.
Well, it's
going to
probably
damage him, but it's not going to stop the bite.
What? Incriminating evidence. Incriminating evidence. Can't go like a fucking gag into his mouth.
Tell you what.
Like
I'll-
across.
I will reduce the amount of tentacles you spawn to 1. The roll doesn't change. And the amount of successes will basically count as more of a dex and stealth type of deal to see if it shows up in the footage.
Delese.
Yes!
Hell yeah! Oh my
My
fucking god,
boy.
that's a lot. 1, 2, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Alright. So
The
that
difficulty
is the
is 7.
entirety of the damage that you just soaked. So, Serena, as you see his jaw basically jolt towards you, and your unlife kind of flashes before your eyes, you hear him chomp down, but instead of pain, you feel like a cold sensation bracing against your neck and kind of pushing you back a little. As you look forward, you see Javi's jaw just ripping a shadow tentacle into as it dissipates into nothing. His eyes become very alert and begin darting towards the darkness, then back to you. And it's your turn.
Get him.
I can't hear you.
Get him!
I'm going to use my jaw,
Mm-hmm.
and while he's darting, so that he doesn't see it open,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna bite back. But I'm gonna bite deep.
Alright.
Okay, so what am I rolling?
So you roll your dex plus brawl.
Mm-hmm.
And the attack is your strength +2 ag
Mhm.
damage.
Beleza. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
So
8 to
8.
hit. 7.
So that's 7 plus strength +2.
Mm-hmm.
And I should mention, I allow
Bless her.
pullback of damage depending on the result you want to achieve.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, 10.
All right. So yeah, you basically get to decide how hurt he gets from this shit.
Mm.
This, to be very clear,
Oh,
this is
actually, I
enough to
forgot.
one-shot him. Oh, right, he has to soak. Completely forgot.
Okay,
There's fortitude.
11 successes.
That's
11
fine.
successes.
Unless you roll all successes, which he didn't. So instead of 11, it's 9. Which is enough to
9.
one-shot him, so you can just decide what happens.
Can I do it until he's on his last, like, basically
Yeah, you can pull
crippled?
back the damage until
Yeah.
he's crippled. Like, not
Yeah.
torpid, just crippled.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. All right. So, where do you bite him?
On the shoulder.
All right. Well, as you bite into his shoulder and pull to the side, in a very sneaky application of your modifications, just before the bite, your jaw splits in two, and you lock onto his shoulder. And as you pull back, Jack, what you see Serena do is pull back, and Javi's shoulder, arm, and a good chunk of his torso all fly out, stuck to Serena's mouth.
Yeah, I basically also close my mouth so that it's not on the video, okay? Okay. So now he's down to crippled. Can't heal that ag. So that's -5 to everything.
It always leaves him at least 1 die of damage.
Oh. Does he fall or something?
Yeah, he basically falls to the floor trying to crawl away, kind of very non-successfully.
Okay,
And as
so then-
this happens, since we're out of combat at this point, Velvet, basically still filming, tears streaming down her face, walks up to you, hands you the phone, and forcefully, like, points it to Javi. At which point, she walks up to him and begins to stomp the shit out of his head. She
hold the phone.
stomps.
I hold the phone.
She stomps once, and his head sort of jolts forward, and he breaches back, trying to swat whatever is doing this. She stomps again, breaks her heel as it gets stuck in the back of his skull. She stomps again, he stops moving. And then she keeps stomping and stomping and stomping, yelling, screaming at him, until you begin to see his flesh rot away.
As I turn off the recording, and then I take her princess style and celerity my way out of here while also yelling to Jack to follow. I name a location a bit away, like away from here. I basically, whatever's answered, I want to get away before it gets here.
And the shadow is just gonna fly through the forest.
Yeah. So eventually, once we're like far enough.
Hold on.
I'm gonna put her down.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Jack, since you're the last one to leave, perception and alertness, please.
Mm-hmm. Careful.
Yes. This one applies more than anything, actually.
Yeah. By the normal difficulty, it's 2.
Okay.
If
As you're
less by aspects, but more.
as you're slinking away from the crime scene, you manage to spot that neither the screaming or the stomping has stopped. Velvet is still enraged, stomping what at this point is just a rotten skull.
Yeah. When it's done, Iris is going to grab Velvet, like princess style, and slink to that
okay.
place.
So you're
Like,
dragging her along.
Yes. I'm
Then
not
you-
having.
Then you roll me a very quick strength and brawl to see if you can keep hold of her, because she is currently frenzying
She's
at
frenzying.
the corpse.
7.
And she
1, 2,
rolls.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
She rolls strength and brawl. 1 success. Yeah,
Like a
she tries to like wriggle out of your grip, essentially thrashing in the direction of the corpse, crying out loud as you sprint away.
Yeah. I sprint away far enough, like basically to a point previously agreed, like which will be far enough. And once we arrive there, I put her down, and I say, it would probably also be somewhere where we parked the car, like further away, so that. And it's not going to be the usual car. It's going to be like a random car.
We have plenty of cars.
It's going to be a random like mom car or something.
Yep.
And as Serena like puts Phoebe into the back seat. By the way, could I have? No, actually, I'm not gonna like do that. Let it be. Let the ashes lie where they are. Serena basically puts Phoebe in the back seat, hands her her phone, waits for Jack to get over here, since he's probably traveling slower than her on celerity. And as she fixes the mirror so that she can see Vivi's face in the back seat, she looks to her. Didn't that feel nice? I assume he had been a horrible sire to you. One of the worst type. Sadly, such sires exist regardless of sect. I was once part of Camarilla, and my sire was the worst type of man. I was only lucky that, due to circumstances, he perished. I had a chance to save him, but I simply watched him die in the middle of blazing fire.
Your statement is answered only with silence, as Vivi doesn't even grab her phone. She essentially just lays in the back seat, curls up, and with the tears still staining her face, just
That's right.
stares into infinity, silent.
Just feels that rage, feels a catharsis, feels a change, feels a release of the past. I have to say, my lover was not kidding when he said he was one of the best warriors. if it wasn't. And as Serena's speaking, she looks around outside so that like there's nobody outside, and at a well, no, actually, she still is in Jeanette, like until they leave this area.
Mm-hmm.
I'll have to say, if it wasn't for my packmate's intervention and the luck of the draw on my side, that he was turned with a back, and since she didn't take the phone, Serena's just going to look through the recording to see that there's no tentacles visible or like her jaw isn't visible. I almost thought myself a goner. I thought my luck ran out. And my lover would come to find me in hell in order to berate me for being so careless. It'll
At
be...
some point in this conversation, Jack will be just the shadow in the car.
Yeah, I
Like when she
assume
finishes,
the
like-
entire time this conversation is going on, Jack is like a shadow in the glove box or some shit.
Yeah, Serena also tells Jack, until we escort Vivi back, let us... Jack, stay hidden. It's no good if you'll be seen with Miss Vorman and Miss Velour after they did such a daring attack on the Sabbat.
Out of the glove box, you see like on the passenger seat, like a shadow with a thumbs up appears.
All right.
Serena looks to Vivi and then says, "So, tell me, do you want me to numb down this emotion so you can come back, or would you like to feel it all? What would be best for our deal?"
She keeps absolutely silent.
Well, that is a no. Serena's going to start like driving
Mm-hmm.
around Hollywood because they still need to go to the witches, so driving around Hollywood would be useful.
All right.
And she's just waiting for Vivi now to speak.
As you drive through the streets of Hollywood, eventually just a...
No, I don't drive into Hollywood. I drive around it.
Ah,
So-
okay.
sort of
Around as in not within, but around the
Yeah,
territory.
yeah.
Okay, got it.
Around.
So as you drive around the territory, Vivi speaks up more in a soft, numb voice almost. And she simply says, "Drop me at my club."
Serena sighs. And then I'm going to change my face to look like Abel.
All right.
Wait, no, I can't. I'm wearing fucking Jeanette clothes.
Abel has a fashion sense, okay?
Yeah, I'm going to just like, because technically the top sort of looks like a dancer or something.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to change myself to look like some type of like stripper, like generic, like probably
Generic
somebody
attractive woman.
Yeah, who's now looks like a stripper.
Mm-hmm. Remember to
Jeanette
keep
Warman.
track of all the blood expenditures for this.
Yep.
And you drop her off at the club.
Yep.
All right.
And then drive out.
Yeah. As you allow her to exit the vehicle, she sits up on the back seat, reaches into her pocket, takes a makeup mirror, like one of those portable mirrors, and with the cotton begins to wipe off some of the blood. When she is barely presentable, she closes it, takes a very deep breath and then opens her eyes as if nothing ever happened and says, "I'll be seeing you sometime in the future." And simply
Have a good
leaves the
night.
car.
And Serena basically zips out of Hollywood as the quickest way to be out of Hollywood. And once we're starting to approach Griffith Park, that's when she basically stops the car, asks Jack to basically Jack takes the driver's seat. I'm gonna go
Yep.
back and change. She basically goes into the back seat and changes into other clothes, putting the ones that she was wearing earlier into a plastic bag as she changes back to looking like Serena Moore currently, putting on other clothes.
All right. And this is
Uh,
as you drive towards the
to the
edge of the
Griffith
forest.
Park.
Okay.
Yep.
Jack, as you eventually stop the car at the edge of the forest, you glance back to see that Serena is already prepared to leave. And as your eyes look towards the edge of the forest, there is a roll perception alertness, please.
Mm-hmm. Careful.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Wasting all the good rolls tonight, huh?
Uh-huh. Well, I didn't
Enoch's
roll
gonna
much
go
tonight,
great.
so...
Anyway,
Yes.
as your gaze just brushes past the woods, you swear you see something. Almost the glint of a pair of eyes watching you. You check,
Serena's going to
and there's nothing.
use eyes like of the earth before going out of the car.
Mm-hmm.
Fuck, where is it? So that's difficulty 5, and it's 4 plus 10. Difficulty 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 4 successes, so...
Mm-hmm. You close your eyes for a moment, and as you open them, your perception of the world expands greatly. What areas do you wish to examine?
Basically everything around us, because I'm not going out of the car from which like I dropped off Vivi and it was Jeanette earlier. Before you know.
Mm-hmm.
No tail.
Well, yeah, like basically I need to see that there's no tail.
All right. Make a quick perception alertness. Though you know there is no tail on you right now. At least close to you.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay. As your perception expands, brushing into Hollywood, you spot at some point a group of what look like drunk teenagers that for a moment look familiar.
Is it Javi's pack?
As you focus, you recognize them. You've seen him before. It is Javi's pack. And while some of them are keeping this, drunk teenager facade going, a few of them are very openly motivated to heading, like, in quite a hurried manner, heading south of Hollywood to the forest where you were.
Mm-hmm.
It's north of Hollywood.
No,
South,
no, no.
downtown.
No, our
We were.
house.
That's
I said
south.
Yeah,
war.
we were
It's-
here. It's south.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
south. It's
southwest.
Yeah.
southwest.
Hmm. Yeah, I heard R, not where.
It's all good.
Okay.
Otherwise,
What
you see
about
nothing.
what about the close by area?
You see nothing there.
Okay. Any cameras? Anyone around?
You've used this spot to meet with them quite a few times. Still, same level of security. That is to say, none. At least, non-supernatural.
Okay, I'm just gonna quickly double check that there's no hidden observers, and then I'm gonna leave.
You see
okay.
nothing.
Okay, fine, cool. Okay, then I leave the car, and also call Marcus. No, actually, I'm not gonna call Marcus. Okay, well, I'll figure that out later. I leave the car and I basically go to, basically show to Jack that to follow.
Yeah. Didn't you want to ask them if I may come?
All right. So I approach a tree and I whisper to it, I have come to speak with the mistress of the forest in person, and let me know if I can take my pack meat with me.
You wait a few moments. After a minute, maybe two, the same woman you met with last time steps out of a nearby tree, looks to you, and to your packmate waiting in the car, and then just gestures with her head.
Okay. We follow her.
Yep.
You walk into the woods following this tribal-looking young woman, and as she makes her way through the forest, eventually you reach a familiar clearing. At the center of the clearing is a sapling, in front of which sits the old hag, swaying with her eyes closed, as a number of birds approach and seem to almost loiter around her. They hop around, perch themselves, sometimes even on her leg or her shoulder, and just seem to be very at peace. They don't even notice you approach.
As Verena approaches, she says, "Greetings."
The woman stops for a moment, and in a flash, it's almost like she immediately appears in front of you. To what do I owe this visit?
Well, I have come to personally let you know that next week we shall be hunting in Santa Monica.
More than that has
Also-
happened, though.
Huh?
More than
What'd you
that
say?
has happened, though.
Well, I've made an excuse.
You don't need to tell me.
Oh, are you talking about something else?
Yes, but she turns her attention to Jack, seems to watch him for a moment, and says, "When the attack starts, simply reach out to one of the sisters. Leave this one with us for a moment and go."
What is she saying? Is that she saying to me or to Jack?
Yeah, she says that to you.
Okay. I Serena looks to Jack, and as she's passing him by, she just tells him with aspects, "I'll be watching."
Jack will just do like the slightest little nod.
Mm-hmm. As Serena begins to walk away, the hag seems to watch you quite carefully, Jack. Can you roll a perception empathy? This is going to be at difficulty 10. You need at least 110 to succeed.
Perception, empathy. Elise.
King.
Hell yeah.
While the knee-jerk reaction is that she's looking at you like a future meal, it's clear she spotted something. Something that made you more interesting than you were before. Before you were just someone who tagged along.
Inconvenience.
Now you kind of stood out enough for her to be interested. She approaches you, watching you very, very carefully, and extends one hand.
May I know what your intent is?
Do you give her your hand?
Yeah, but like, and ask it as well.
As her fingers wrap around your hand, she begins to step backward, essentially leading you closer to the center of the circle, though she doesn't force you to go.
I'll follow.
Mm-hmm. As you do, she seems to be very carefully examining you. Almost as if she's looking into your damn soul. It's almost creepy how she does it. At some point, her eyes rest on your chest, and she says, "You've been digging around."
Yeah. I'm not really sure what the end result would be, but I guess you know who I met.
I'm not entirely sure I do.
Do you know what my clan is?
Not yet. I'm hoping to find out.
It is a clan of shadows.
As you say that, her hand almost immediately releases yours. I see. Return to your friend.
Very well. Do tell if you need something from me.
She doesn't respond, but as you begin to walk away, she turns, almost looking through the floor, and takes a step to the side and says, "Do hurry. Your presence here caught the attention of the local wildlife."
It seemed to do. I'll just take a step like through the nearest shadow and towards the car.
Mm-hmm.
I know the general direction.
And as you reach the car, Serena, did you go straight to the car?
You're muted.
Yes, I did. Stepping through the tree.
Mm-hmm. As Jack, as you approach the car, you see Serena essentially standing,
No, sitting in a car already.
driver's seat, I would assume.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Yeah. Just waiting in the driver's seat.
Well, okay. Yeah, I'll take the passenger seat.
Mm-hmm.
Do you say anything?
She was oddly interested in, that.
Well, she's also that man's friend, so I hope you were careful. And Serena starts driving away.
Yeah.
To a point where she's basically, she's not gonna use this car to get to the Haven. This is a car that she's going to drop somewhere for Marcus's goons to dispose of.
Mm-hmm.
From after dropping the car in a great spot, she's basically just like they're gonna walk a bit until they make it to another car, which they will use to get back to the Haven.
Mm-hmm. And if there is nothing you to talk about on the way home,
Well, what did you tell her?
That I'm La Sombra.
Okay. What did she tell you?
Told me to hurry up because werewolves.
And that's it?
More or less.
Okay. No, but why did she ask you to stay?
I don't know. She didn't tell me.
Well, let's just get back to the Haven.
all right. And as the two of you make your way back to the Haven, we will end tonight's session. Thank you everyone for watching, and we'll see you next week in our next episode of Beyond Armageddon. Bye bye.